Dan RadioStyle, hope everybody out there is doing fantastic. The chicken or the egg, probably going to call it something slightly different, not sure. But really what this comes down to is the idea of when we're manifesting. There are times where we're going to pick up on something and then it's going to happen quickly. And there's a big question as to, did I create it because I just thought of it? Or am I being somewhat intuitive and maybe picking up on something that is about to happen? And there's going to be a third component to that. I guess I should show three if I'm going to talk about three things. There's a third component to that. And I'm going to get into that. That's kind of the part that is going to come in a little, come in here shortly. But I think all three of these components, one, are super important. Two, the third component that I'm going to talk about, not really talked about a lot in law of attraction circles. For a reason. I'm throwing it out there more as conversation, maybe something to get you guys thinking, talking about. Some of you might want to choose to debate this concept within comments. Fine with that too. The other side of it is me kind of sharing something that I actually think is an unsung hero, something that plays a huge part in our manifestation that we don't really talk about all that much. I mean, obviously what you think, what you say, what you do, definitely. That's your focus-based universe. That's kind of that whole thing, right? So yeah, definitely. No question about it. Then obviously your beliefs kind of can taper that. I've mentioned that many a time too. So I think we're covering it huge there. But there's another aspect that comes into energy, and it's always about energy. So real quick, kind of where this came up, how this whole concept happened. Did some voiceover work. I told you guys this is one that popped up out of the blue. So did this recently, right? And right when I was finishing the project, basically I think right after I recorded it, I could hear the lady that I was doing it for saying, Dan, great job. Well done. Love it. Love the work. And again, this is one of those things where I didn't want to talk about it too soon. So finally, I've already been paid for the job. And so at this point, I can basically make statements that are a little safer. I was able to accomplish it. There were no needed extra takes. I didn't have to do any edits. What I provided them was right on the money. So it was good. It was exactly what they wanted. It was kind of easy voiceover work. So I'm not going to say I was anything rock star in my approach or on my half, but it was work I had done for this lady before over a year ago, right? So it wasn't about a year and a half ago was the last time I did a job for her. So again, she kind of knew what she was getting coming to me. Part of the fun of coming to me, especially when you've worked with me for, I did voiceover for them for, I don't know, almost 3 years. A lot of work. So in my mind, I heard her say, great job. And that is what happened. I mean, she responded to me in an email. It wasn't quite verbatim. I think I said, sounds awesome. And I think hers was, sounds great. So I wasn't exact, but I was really freaking close. And from where I come from, that's a hit. I mean, some of you may want more specifics in your life than that. You know, you won't feel like you got an accurate take or an accurate feed or readback or accurate whatever. You might not feel it's accurate if it doesn't come back with exactly the words you said. I think it's the concept. So I'm just going to say that's one difference maybe I have than a lot of people is I don't get all hung up on, did it happen exactly how I said or like super duper close? And when it's super duper close, that's exact in my book. I don't go around telling people. I don't go around bragging, hey, everything I think exactly happens. Like, no. But I do realize what I focus on gives more power to, and I see it exemplified in my life. So when I focus on things, I see things show up in my life. So again, I wanted to make sure that essentially the job was done, completed, and paid before any sort of questions about whether or not I did it, you know, on the one take or had to do any additional tweaks to it, right? So again, what she said, what I heard, all these things played out. So cool. Did I create it by hearing her say it or the words that happened in my head? Because it was really it. It was that one moment. Or was I picking up on what she was already going to say? Or was it the third thing? The third thing is the energy you put into projects, anything that you're doing or creating. When you put your best energy into it, when you do it with every intention of doing a great job, when you do it with that forethought of here's why I'm doing this work, here's why I'm doing what I'm doing. So maybe you're doing a YouTube video, right? Maybe you're getting into some sort of creative thing. You're blogging. I got one person, Fanny, jumps out at me right now. The blog, she finally started, which is wonderful, right? So maybe you're trying to get that ball rolling in something that you're worried about finding viewers, right? Like my YouTube. Someone just commented, they're like, surprised you're not a larger channel. You know, I'm growing, and I'm growing at an awesome pace. And it is what it is. So I could look at it from two standpoints. Am I growing at a good pace, a sufficient pace, an awesome pace, especially for someone that's not doing this full time? Like, I'm not doing this constantly. I'm not putting out 5 videos a day, right? Like, there's things I could do to enhance my viewership, I'm sure. But I just, I'm happy with where I'm going, and I'm happy with the growth. Or there's the other side of it that says, well, I should be 10,000 subscribers right now, and I'm not happy. I didn't do it. I'm not there. I keep imagining it. I'm not at 10,000. I just did the imaginal work yesterday, and I'm not at 10,000 today. All right, well, one, the way YouTube tends to work out, I haven't seen that growth happen, and nor have I heard about it from other people. Now, there are certain places I've heard that can happen, right? I can meet people that can open doors, no question about it. And my growth is happening at a pace that I know that it's good. I mean, and maybe that's some of my limiting. I will be honest. That totally could be some of it. But my point is what I'm trying to do is put something good out there, something that helps people, something that makes a difference. And I'm trying to really put that energy into it, that love into it. And for those of you that have found me that listen regularly and watch regularly, you guys seem to appreciate what I'm trying to bring to the table. And really what it is it's that energy that brings the followers. The followers will come from the energy you put out. The quality of your product will have a feel to it based off of what you have put into it. If you're doing a half back-end version of it, a half-assed version, I'll say it that way. If you're doing a bummer version of it, that's what people are going to experience. So if you're doing something similar in relationships, maybe you're grumpy with someone, right? And you're constantly trying to create them, and you do all this imaginal efforts, but then a majority of the time you kind of hold them in ill regard, or maybe think negatively of them, or maybe don't feel that they're that good a person, or they're not worthy of you, or any number of things that a lot of us will tell ourselves. Or the product we're putting out, or the work we're doing for our bosses is substandard. Maybe we're not really doing good work. Maybe we're constantly trying to do anything other than work. And we're trying to get ourselves a promotion. We're trying to get our lives moved around. But what we find is what we're putting out is not of quality. What we put out is what we get back. You're trying to manifest love, what you put out, the quality of the relationships you have with even the people you dislike the most in your life. You're trying to get love with one person, and there's this person at the gas station you hate, and every time you see him, you say horrible things to him because they're horrible to you. That affects all of your relationships. If you're trying to get work in the current job you do, you hate it so much that you constantly are looking for ways to not do work. That's what you're putting out to the universe. That's the energy you're sending out. And the converse to that is, if you're trying to improve your situation, make sure you improve what you're sending out. So again, in the case of what I did, the work I did for this lady, wonderful lady, Jerry, love her. The work I did for her, was it because I thought, I heard her say in my mind, I heard the one line in my mind, great work, awesome work, Dan, whatever the heck she said. Or was it the fact that I thought that for a second, or was it what happened first, right? Was I picking up on it? Was it my intuition picking up on what she was going to email me anyway the following couple days later? I think it was a day or two later I finally got the email. Right? Gave her a chance to download it, listen to it, bam. Sends me the email, there you go. Everything's good. Or did it also have to do with, or maybe completely have to do with, could be a mixture. Did it also have to do with the fact that when I did the work, I did it with great pride. I went through my audio afterwards, and I literally went between all the sentences and removed the breaths every time I go, and stuff like that. All those stupid mouth noises that are annoying when you're a voiceover person and you try really hard not to do them, and then you go and listen to it. Sure enough, there's some of them. So is it that? Is it that pride we take? Or is it the fact that I thought, Oh, she's going to say she likes it. The thought mattered, and I could have been picking up on what was already there. That's definitely part of this. And I think part of why that existed, that energy existed, is because of the work I have done in the past. One, she knows my track record. And two, because I put that same level of pride into this project. The same level of love, the same level of energy, the same level of, this is why I try to do things as good as I can. That energy has creative power. What we truly are sending out is definitely coming back. If we're not being awesome to all the areas that we're trying to improve in our life, if we're not giving our best in all the places that we're hoping to see the best, you're probably missing the mark. You're probably not there yet, and you probably are wondering why. Find the places where you're selling others short. Find the places where you're giving less than your best. Find the places where you know you could do more or better, but choose not to. If you're not willing to give more out there, then why should out there give more to you? What's being done to deserve it? I'm not saying everything requires hard work, but I am saying that what we send out comes back to us. And if what you're sending out isn't so good, what you're getting back is going to be the same. And if you'd like to see it reversed, then make sure what you're putting out is of the quality that I know all of us can do. It's the big takeaway. And it was one of the things that I really realized. It's not just what you think and say and do and believe. And it's not just the fact that there's a spiritual significance and that we can pick up on those things, and without a doubt we can. Without a doubt. But it's also the quality of what we're putting out there. That is what makes a huge difference. If you guys haven't subscribed already, I hope you do. Please do so. Click the little subscribe button, or if you're at the end of the video, there's a little place where my little ugly mug shows up. Just click on that, and that'll subscribe. And then make sure the little bell icon is turned to the little bling, little lines next to it. It'll make it look like it's a ringing bell. And if you do that, you'll get the notifications whenever I publish anything new. Thank you guys for joining me, and we'll be doing more videos soon. Stay on Radio Style.